Okay.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Today, State Attorney Worrell has some comments about some new legislation that recently started that we call the super speeder law, and she's also here to provide some community education so that we can educate the community on this very serious topic. State Attorney Monique Worrell.
Thank you. Good morning. Can everyone hear me okay? I want to make sure that your sound is good. Everyone good? All right. Thank you so much. As a part of my community education initiative, I'm here today to talk about Florida's new super speeder law that went into effect on July 1st of this year. We've all experienced driving on the highway at or near speed limit when someone zooms past us. I know I've stopped often and wondered, how fast must they be going? If I'm going 70 miles an hour, how fast is this person going that just zoomed past me at a high rate of speed? The super speeder law is directed towards a serious and growing threat to public safety on our roads, excessive speeding, and provides us with a stronger framework to address it. As of July 1st, drivers in Florida who exceed the speed limit by 50 miles per hour or more can now be charged with a misdemeanor. That's 30 days in jail and a $500 fine, even on your first offense. This is a significant increase from simple traffic citations, and this can happen even with no prior criminal history. This law is a critical step towards saving lives and addressing the dangerous rise in reckless driving on our roads. This is not the type of offense that you normally think of in the context of crime and prosecution. However, this is the type of offense that could be committed by your spouse, your neighbor, your coworker, and sadly, even your teenagers. Just this week, Florida Highway Patrol reported that a teen in a Dodge Charger driving at a high rate of speed in the southbound lanes of I-75 in Sumter County near Wildwood overtook slower traffic and took evasive action to avoid a collision. His car hit a tree and erupted into flames. There were minor injuries reported on that 17-year-old driver, a 13 and 17-year-old passenger, with serious injuries to a 15-year-old passenger, and unfortunately, fatal injuries to a 16-year-old passenger. In 2021, right here behind me on the 408, an individual was driving a Porsche at 150 miles or more an hour. He swerved to go around a large truck and rear-ended and killed a victim. On July 2nd, 2025, thanks to the great work of the prosecutors in my office, that individual was convicted of traffic homicide and now awaits sentencing, facing a minimum of 9 years in prison. Year after year, though, too many lives are lost due to reckless speeding. In 2024 alone, there were over 30 traffic-related deaths across Orange and Osceola counties. Many of those fatalities involved drivers traveling at dangerous, uncontrollable speeds. These are not just numbers. These are 30 real families who now face empty seats at dinner tables, missed birthdays, and futures stolen in seconds by the poor choices made by reckless drivers. I want to commend Sheriff Mina on his leadership in working to get this law passed for the protection of our communities. This law is a critical step towards saving lives, addressing the dangerous rise in reckless driving on our roads. Our office is committed to working hand in hand with law enforcement to make sure drivers who put others at risk face real consequences, especially when that driving results in the loss of life. I have instructed that all such cases filed under this law be flagged in our system and be resolved only with the approval of our management. Together, we are making it clear that reckless speeding will not be ignored and that protecting lives will always be a top priority. Unfortunately, despite our best efforts at educating the community, there will still be individuals who fail to heed our warnings, requiring us to enforce the laws and hold them accountable. Don't let that person be you. Slow down. Drive responsibly. No trip is worth the life of a member of our community. Thank you.
Now we'd like to just have a brief question and answer period for the state attorney.
It's still early, but my understanding is that there have been several arrests already under this law. Yes. So I can't speak to that specific case because I'm not familiar with it, but any law where any case where someone has been arrested under this statute, the penalties under this statute will apply. If my office gets the case and reviews it and thinks that it's appropriate that there be charged under this statute, then we'll make that determination at that time. Well, I know that the sheriff's office has been very active in enforcing this law. We've had conversations with the sheriff's office with regards to arrests made specifically under this statute. That does not mean that there won't still be arrests made under the reckless driving statute that already existed. But under this particular statute, they're already sending them in. So I can't speak to any specific ongoing investigations that are being prosecuted by my office, but upon the completion or the resolution of that case, we're happy to give a statement. I mean, I have so many concerns about traffic in our community. Just a few months ago, I stood before you talking about road rage incidences and how the homicides that result from road rage have been increasing. As the population here increases, so are the, issues that we have with drivers on the road. So I have so many concerns, and certainly pedestrian deaths as a result of traffic instances is one of them. Listen, so I don't know what the specific statistics are with regards to teen drivers and these fatalities. I know in the case that I spoke to you about earlier that just happened this week that it was a teen driver. I'm a mom of a teen driver, so I am acutely aware, particularly when it comes to teen boys, that when you put the keys of your car in the hands of your teenager, that you have to be extra vigilant in ensuring that they are abiding by the traffic safety laws. And as a mom, I want to encourage parents to use monitoring devices. I have Life 360. I know if my son's exceeding the speed limit, and he knows that if I find that he's exceeding the speed limit, there will be consequences and he will lose his privilege to drive my vehicle. So again, I can't comment on any specific case that's open. I talked to you about the case involving the driver on 408 that happened in 2021 because that case has now been concluded and it is in the sentencing phase. But as a rule, we don't discuss open and ongoing cases. So it's very important for the public to understand that there are multiple agencies that play a part in resolving criminal justice cases, and there is no one agency that's specifically responsible for outcomes. It is the Office of the State Attorney. It is the different law enforcement agencies. It is the judiciary. All of these agencies have to work together to produce outcomes. I don't have any reason to believe that we won't be working collaboratively to ensure the safety of our community. There are a lot of things that people can be accused of that are defensible. In this situation, going 50 or 100 miles an hour over the speed limit is just simply indefensible. So one longstanding principle of my office is that we treat violations of the law the same no matter who commits them. Okay? Now, I know that you all had some other questions that you wanted to ask me about other things, so I want to give you the opportunity to do that at this time as well if there are no more questions with regards to super speeder. So it's important to understand that in the case of Tommy Ziegler, I long since advocated for Mr. Ziegler to have an opportunity to prove his innocence if he was able to do so. And I stand by that decision. What we're dealing with now is the testing has been completed, and according to the attorney who is handling this case in my office, because it's important for people to understand that as the state attorney, I am not specifically handling this case. But this case has gone through my conviction integrity unit. It has been reviewed extensively. And the position of those attorneys is that the state attorney's office cannot stand in agreement with Mr. Ziegler with regards to the outcome of that testing.
Thank you so much for coming. If you have any additional questions, just please contact our PI office. Be safe.